Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, respected seniors, my contemporaries, juniors, and welcome to the second episode of Speaking of Design. So, first of all, I would like to thank those of you who had come for the first episode for coming and making it a huge success. For those who weren't there last time, very briefly, I'll just tell you what Speaking of Design is about. What we're trying to create here is a platform for Hyderabad based architects to talk about their work, their experience, their processes to an audience which is again Hyderabad based architects. So it's a city based community of architects which aims to focus on all the relevant issues and important aspects that affect us all. So that's Speaking of Design in a nutshell. And I would like to thank Rashi and Yasmin and their energetic team at Enza. Thank you so much. And now that the introductions are done, we'll move to the man of the hour, architect Nawazish Kirmani. So Nawazish is my junior from CSIT, but he finished his BR from SVCA. And I'd like to say something very interesting that I noted about both our speakers, the one from the first episode and Nawazish, Nandu sir and Nawazish. And it is that both of them, neither of them worked in an office other than, the prerequisite internship that they had to do. So for the juniors, this is an exception, not the rule. I'm sure they'll also agree because now they're running their own firms. They'll agree that they need, some intelligent and enthusiastic people in office. So yeah. So Nawazish, other than being an architect, he's also a sculptor, an artist, painter, and also an academician. And he has a very keen sense of proportion and a sense of materiality and processes, which has led him to start his own product design and furniture design firm called Dastkari, which I'm sure all of you are aware of. And he works with the craftsman, being a hands-on person himself. He works with the craftsmen and aligns them to his vision, his ideas to create some very remarkable furniture. And lastly, I would like to say that the only office that Nawazish has worked in was Lata's, and Lata is right here with us. Thank you so much. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the second speaker of Speaking of Design, Nawazish Kirmani.
Still quite young to be addressing as the second speaker. But yeah, my journey has been long and quite interesting because I started very early. I was in my second year of architecture actually, since when I started working. That was to pay the fines for having less attendance in college. So my talk is divided basically into four parts. One, which is before Dastkari, and then we'll go through the journey and my process and learnings, and the last part would be knowing when to stop. You could also help me with that.
Sure.
So before starting Dastkari, there was a lot of a very long exploratory phase, I can say, that I've gone through. I never wanted to be an architect as such. It was not my ambition as such. Neither did I know that I wanted to be a designer. As a child, I was good at drawing. I enjoyed that. And then as I was finishing my intermediate, I was not clear what I had to do, but I was clear that I did not want to do engineering. So the process was by deduction, and then I suggested my brother that I would want to join an arts college, and he was like, "You also want to make money, and we don't often see them uh, earn much before they're very old." So I agreed with him, and then I had to Google, and I came across architecture, and then I suggested him that maybe this could be interesting. I also found the entrance exam to be easy. So he said, yeah, the architecture seems to not have just soft subjects. It has some science as well. Go for it. And then as I came into architecture college, I realized all that has not happened uh, was good for me, because I really loved what I started studying, and I enjoyed college thoroughly. Here you could see my initial work. Uh, at the bottom over here is a kiosk which I had designed in Orbit Mall. Uh, I had also taken up the responsibility of executing it. And up over there, you can see two projects that I had done in Qatar. These were basically pavilion designs, which I had to design for events and also execute them. So I was called over there, and I had to execute all of that in like 10 days, 15 days. So again, working with production teams, I think it always was a part of my process. It so happened that I had to get the things that I designed made. So wherever any challenges arouse, I had to resolve them myself and give a solution for that. There were no contractors who would do that for me. And the creative kida was still there, and I always liked going to scrap yards, and I would see different possibilities with things that I would find. And over here you can see these sheets are basically remains of the punched out industrial components, and I thought of making a lamp out of it. And Lata, being so kind, also purchased this lamp. Interesting material, Tyvek, which we used to find at printing shops also as a non-tearable solution against the paper prints that we used to take on bigger uh, papers. So I thought, let's test the limits, and I figured out where we could get rolls of that, and did some stitching. We had to ensure that the edges don't open, so tried cracking that, and then this was my logo back then. Got it printed, uh, but the paper was deforming. It didn't tear, but it was deforming. Tried out. It was a knockdown model. Uh, it was these designs were all dictated by things that I was coming across, or my limitations and the resources that I had. I didn't have access to very skilled craftsmen back then. There were still people who were just working with ply and veneer. So, whatever the designs are, they're still very simple, basic angles, and very reasonable to sponsor yourself to make them. This was one of my favorites back then. So I bought some tawas the pants from Begum Bazaar for 70 rupees. And then these components that you see, they're pipes which you can cut on a lathe machine, because then you will get a straight cut, and the depth is sufficient for welding it from inside. And each of this component again was costing me like 30 rupees, so that was 90 rupees for three parts. Then this was 70, uh, that's 160, and each of these leg was again around 60 rupees with turning. Without having any workshop, I could just uh, give all those metal parts for powder coating, and I thought I'm able to make a product for 300 something. And around that time, I think Pepperfry or such websites were coming up, and I was thinking maybe I can sell this for like 900 to 1200. That's a good margin and can be a good business. But I never even sold the prototypes or any of that. But it did instill the thought that product could be a good business, and I was also enjoying it. In Dastkari, I was still exploring. I was not finding the kind of clients that I would want to uh, do architecture for. There was no alignment. I was wanting something else. They were wanting something else. They would hate me sometimes. Uh, yeah, I did the designs, but I didn't get paid for, and all that was not very motivating. And I thought maybe I should just start solving some problem because people will then pay for that. And I knew that most of the buildings in Hyderabad leak. They're not made properly, and waterproofing can be a really nice business. And mostly the people that were there back then in waterproofing were trying to just sell the product rather than find a solution. So that led to formation of Umbrella with a few of my other architect friends who were equally disappointed back then. And then we bought an FLIR camera. It's an infrared camera for thermal detection, and then read a lot about different waterproofing techniques. And it was a more studied approach where we were more informed about what kind of solutions are actually relevant and how to diagnose the problem firstly. The objective was not to sell a chemical, but to really find out the source. And that led to a lot of observation about buildings and the open ends, basically. Uh, I think that really made us understand a lot of loose ends in construction, and good and bad practices in making anything, and also the nature of concrete, and how slyly water can enter buildings and cheat us. We wouldn't know that a leak coming from here could be starting actually from the other end. And they were very smart solutions. You would color code water and send, and you would know this point is leaking from which source. There could be multiple leaking sources in the building. Uh, that was all very interesting. We bagged a big project of 1,400 apartments uh, because one of the partners was daughter of a builder. So I was basically training painters to become waterproofing professionals back then, and in the process, I did quite a few bathrooms myself. I have waterproofed them, so it was again a hands-on experience of really understanding the under layers of the construction work that we do. And at the same time, it was also exposing me to all the hazardous processes that all these workers get exposed to. because I was doing it myself, all that dust would really go in, and safety, which is quite a lot of times missing from the sites. Uh, that led me to really understand that whatever uh, designs we are giving or whatever solutions we are giving, we have to keep in mind the people and the constraints, and just not be demanding without having knowledge about the other end. Things by my hands. This is me working on components of a camp cot. Again, these metal strips are scrap metal sheets, which we are turning into a scissor mechanism of a camp cot. So this is the cot that I made back then with my cousin. Again, doing the costing, I realized this also can be a nice product, and it's compact, it can fold. Um, it also had a novelty to it because they are not made anymore. Let's go next. Yeah, this is how it looks. Again, never sold any of these, but thought that it could be a good business. On Urban Lab. And I did my first architecture building in Tenali. This is the picture of that building. And that's my client, sunbathing. And in this project, they had complete faith in what I was doing. Had a free hand, and uh, I could explore making furniture in this project. So this is one of the chairs that I have done. Inside, the dining table set also was made by us. I didn't have a workshop again, so the timber vendor from whom I was buying the wood, he allowed me to use the space, and I used the space, got a carpenter over there, and these pieces were made. You can see this is the sawmill in which I started. These were the beginnings actually, and this is Lata's project, in which the client was kind enough again to uh, give me commission some works. The entire project was using rosewood and teak wood. They had rosewood with them, and uh, this is one bookshelf I had done, and a couple of other pieces. Tool that we had done, it had a flexing back. I could get some really nice pictures of these, and then it also gave me more confidence that I can do this more seriously. And then I had one more project of my own, in which I did a little more furniture. And then slowly I thought I would move my feet off architecture and get into furniture designing, because I was really enjoying designing things of a smaller scale, because I could focus more on the details, which in architecture, even if I tried, it is a lot of teamwork. If you don't have good contractors, it can get frustrating at times. And also, the client really needs to be supportive, and good details also take time, they also take tools. And doing things all on site doesn't really give that sort of finish. So, uh, I realized that it would be nice to have a workshop where we are well equipped, and we have craftsmen who are constantly being trained and attuned to what the designers are really asking for. That's where we can bridge the gap. So Dastkari that way is basically a place where this gap which is there between designers is close. So we are a junction basically. All the other architects could give their ideas, and me being an architect, plus also understanding the craftsman side and also understanding the limitations of machines and uh, timelines, and also maintaining a good ethic of following timelines, being honest and upfront about what can be done within certain timelines, what can't be done. That way, I think people would start getting very comfortable working with us. And I'm thankful to all the Hyderabad architect community who had been very supportive. Uh, these were some more pieces that are done for the same client. Go ahead. This was again Lata's project, in which I got to do an interesting screen. This screen is very significant for me because one, it was one of the most beautiful initial pieces that I had done. Second, half of it was done in the sawmill, and while I was doing this, we shifted into the new workshop. So here's when I take a leap of faith. We finally rent out a small 800 square foot space in a stilt parking area of an apartment in Somajigoda. This is the offset of that space, which we cleaned up and set up a workstation over there because it would get very stuffy otherwise inside. We worked days, we worked nights. My craftsmen were also very hardworking. This is when the first machine arrived at our workshop. It was a small combi planer, costed about 70,000 rupees. So all my wood I used to source from old structures which were getting demolished in the older parts of the city, or maybe the cantonments. And I used to go there, see, assess the kind of wood it is, if it's having too much damage due to water or not. Um, these were the auction uh, spaces where we could go and buy old wood. The space in the workshop was not enough. More work was coming in. I took few other rooms which were available around in the same compound, and we were making furniture which I wanted to showcase. I was proud of what we were able to produce. So this is a photo shoot setup that we had done in the parking, and the person lying over there is me trying to take the underside, because we were always very cognizant about all the undersides being neat and clean, and we wanted to show more of those. Getting tighter, we were getting bigger orders, and you can see it was all filled up. So we finally had to take a call and move out of there. That was a house full. We moved to Fatehnagar. This was an old laundry space on the first floor, which was shutting down. I got it at a very reasonable rate. So I could take the chance, move into an area which was about 5 times bigger than the space that we were already having. We started cleaning up and making the space to suit our requirements. Moved in with few of our tools, small machines, then brought in another machine, a nice 24-inch planer, which could make things quicker, because I was seeing that how much time and effort it takes for someone to plane a broader plank. So if I was not seeing that, if I was not witnessing that, I wouldn't know the value of this machine and what it could add to us. Soon we had people coming in from other places to work with us. That's Oliver, who came from Denmark for doing his internship in Balnagar. And that's our photo shoot area. I was buying matte finished laminates which would not be reflective at all and give a nice background. But the space was not enough. I always had to open the bathroom and take the extra length which was required. So we eventually rented out other spaces in the complex, and we stayed there until this year. Uh, we were occupying about 25,000 SFT, which was 5 times more than what we had initially rented out over here. Our strength was growing, people were increasing, and this was the team which we had in Balnagar. And what you see, the space is a gallery that we had made over there where our furniture was displayed. This is a new factory which is still under construction and in process. Basically, we are setting up things. I just got it shot 2 days ago so that I could show where we stand today. So that's a new workshop which I plan to improve even more. We would have one more experience center. This is near Shamshabad. It's a 41,000 square foot facility where my carpenters are very happy because they're not in an industrial area anymore. They can get a breather when they pause for their lunch break. They feel much more at home because there are fields around. I don't know how long they would have that, but we have enough area around the workshop which we can green up, and I also plan to keep a badminton court inside and make it a little fun place for everybody. On to the next part, our process and learnings. Design lies a philosophy where manufacturing constraints guide a creative journey rather than limit it. Each piece emerges from a deep understanding of material and method, where traditional handcrafting techniques and modern production processes integrate. In an era where automation dominates, we stand as a bridge between the past and future of furniture making. Our workshop serves as a lab where artisans and designers collaborate, transforming age-old wisdom into pieces that transcend time. That's basically our process. And can we go to the next slide? This is one of the swings that we had done, and there was a unique challenge in it. I'm sorry. So the swing over here is not supposed to go and strike the screen that is there at the back. So we inserted another point of movement. These are universal ball joints, and it's actually not a swing, it is a sway. So it's not oscillating, at the base. It's actually oscillating, but at a flat level. So it doesn't curve. The path is not curved of the plank, but it's flat and it's moving up and down while it's moving front and back. So that limits it from going and striking the screen behind. Next. This was another interesting swing that we had done. The part on the top actually is a solid metal shaft from which two steel components are cantilevered out. And these parts are again having bidri work over it. Go to the next. So my design process is quite informed by the constraints that we are having anytime a brief is coming. Say this chair, we had a restaurant which wanted 20-25 of these chairs, and they had like 15 days for us to deliver them, while our workshop was all hands full, and I didn't have carpenters available. But I still wanted to take this work up. So my upholstery guys were available. I had my metal guys available. So I increased the work for these two components and reduced the work for the wooden component in this design. You can see only the handles are wooden, which are stained black. So that could quickly be done in like 2 days. And at the same time, all these three works can parallelly happen, saving time, because in the same 3-4 days, my upholstery guy is working, my metal guy is working independently, and we just have to be precise and accurate so that every other component fits in. And for that, you must understand the tolerances. You're not drilling and checking always. You make sure that any other part could fit in. So uh, we were very comfortably able to do this project, and that's where I really understood the importance of respecting the constraints that you're having rather than being bogged down by them. A younger Nawazish would get frustrated, but as I was uh, getting older in the field, I started enjoying any constraints that would come to us. Which we did for Funnel Hill Creamery, which now shut down. Again, there was more turning work over here to minimize the costs. Wood is less and metal work is more. Yet you have the comfort because there is a flex that you get. So the metal had to be slender to a certain degree to get that flex, but not yet deformed. For that, the gauge had to be slightly thicker. And then our romance with wood continues. Sometime before shifting to Balnagar, Sudhir sir had come down to our workshop, and then he saw the furniture that we were doing, and then he suggested certain changes that we could do, informed us about joineries and dovetailing. So after he said that, I researched more and then bought a jig from Canada, from a company called Lay. So we could then route through edges of boards and do joints which are interlocking the traditional way, but much more accurately without spending so much time, which otherwise people used to spend doing dovetails manually with a hand blade. This table, if you see, there's an interesting component in that, the pen stand. The pen stand over there is not just the pen stand, but a structural element it is actually holding the weight of the drawer from the top. And also, to balance the weight in the drawers, there is a counterweight metal plate in the table on the other side. Go next. This was another chair. It's called Aram Chair. You can cross your legs and sit over it while you can even keep your legs down. Otherwise, very apt for Indian household settings where you want to informally sit with legs crossed. And because there is a cushion, they don't get numb very quickly. This was the Chinkara chair. This is one of our most beautiful armchairs. Just go ahead. So the profile is actually inspired by the form of Indian gazelle, and over here, if you see that, you could see two pins. Initially, I was not giving them, and then I realized at that angle certain joints were opening, and this joint also was initially straight, uh, and that was exerting force enough so that the mortise tenon joint opens up. So these are minor tweaks that we do understanding and observing products over time. In architecture, we don't get that opportunity to correct our mistakes so easily. Furniture allows me to do that, and there's a quick feedback loop, and I'm hungry to design more. So the scale of furniture really felt apt. Pieces which were inspired by the Deccan landscape. I always liked the boulders wherever we used to go out on picnics and all. I was very fascinated by the forms and how they were arranged over each other. Tried reflecting that, but technically speaking, wood in such chunks would actually uh, have certain amount of cracks when it expands and contracts. But sometimes the love for the visuals. This is one of our most comfortable chair. This would have been the fifth version, after which we thought it's suiting most people sitting over it. It gives a really nice lumbar support at the back, the lower back. And the first model didn't have a curve over here, which eventually, after rolling out, after selling hundreds of chairs, one client pointed out that it is slightly poking in, and then we sat down and then thought over it and increased the height also, which was input from some of the clients, and then curved it back. This is one of the pieces where we got compliments from Peter Rich also. He really liked that chair in his last visit. This is one of our new center table models. Again, details are very understated. As I'm designing more and more, I'm liking to design more simpler things, which can be timeless classics. Um, you can see that the TV unit is there at one side. So we do take up bespoke works, but what I really want to aim for, and where I want to spend more time, is creating timeless classics. And this is, I believe, something in that direction. Another interesting chair, floor seater. You can even cross your legs and sit over it. It's a polyurethane shell, and your legs, you won't be pulling up. They will be somewhere here, so they won't get numb. it's not exactly crossing your legs, but mildly doing so. It's also one of our top sellers. Then we are doing beds and different sorts of pieces. Let's just run through. This is again one bespoke work where it was very contextual. It was coming in a place where there was a panoramic window and you had the seafront window. So the table was supposed to be blue so that it kind of merges into the tones of the sea. And I didn't want any legs or any other distraction. So we thought of using glass, and we had to resolve a lot of details. Um They're all exposed details, which now I don't like so much. Um, but then in the context, it does. Sometimes they look very apt in the context. That's what is the beauty of anything bespoke. It's meant for the space that you're designing it for. Going further, some more works. Yeah, this is part of the same collection again. So this is part of one interesting collection that we had launched. It was a limited series at Design Mumbai. The collection is called Order and Chaos, and this is a vinyl record player console where you can put in your vinyls over here, easily browse through them, and it's basically a juxtaposition of order and chaos in one image. The structure is also inspired slightly from George Nakashima. If you see George Nakashima's tables, you would see similar beams. Now, having designed and made and sold 2000 plus pieces in the past seven and a half years. The dilemma now is where to stop, because we've just been scaling, and if you're trying to do something with a lot of attention to detail, you can't really scale up. I feel you can't really scale up beyond a certain point without losing touch to the quality and the finesse. No matter how many systems you put in place, at least the personal touch that you had with each of the piece that is going out of your company would not remain. So right now I stand at a juncture where it was also important to scale up so that we have more capability of doing things in-house, which without having a certain scale you would not be able to. But having said that, if you keep scaling up, then there's a difficult place that you get in, because to sustain a bigger factory, you need to take up all kinds of work. Then you may just tend towards mass manufacturing. So right now, we are also looking at having a parallel brand so that what we do at Dastkari remains intact, and also having so much learnings from the pieces that we have designed, because there were more than 2000 pieces designed, so there were a lot of different kind of requirements that had come in, which were addressed very differently, because every person wanted something different for them. So all this learning can be extended towards another brand, which is maybe mass premium, uh, but we'll have to figure out creative ways of making it more affordable, where you don't have to spend time on each of this, but roll out certain collections every year. Give quality design, but curate it well, so that home buyers get pieces which are talking to each other. Also, I feel the problem in furniture that is available is that they don't address the scale of spaces that um, generally they are going into. A scale of a room in a 2 BHK is very different from a scale of room in a premium 3 BHK. But most of the pieces are Italian inspired, and they would be deeper, bigger, and the smaller houses tend to look even more smaller. You wouldn't know what to put where, and the old school kind of slim, sleek, slender, size zero furniture, which was still comfortable without using much materials, is now not really in fashion. Also because designers are not addressing that way on large scale, on a broader scale. I'm telling, there are definitely bespoke brands. The same thing is being done for luxury segments, where the space is actually available. And over there, the problem is uh, the piece that you've designed doesn't seem to occupy enough space. So actually, that solution is more relevant for a more smaller scaled house. So I feel the brand that we are looking forward to uh, can address these kind of problems. So yeah, this is my journey so far. Uh, and any questions, please,
Yes,
you're
yes.
welcome.
So yes, there are a lot of questions now that you ask. Uh, well, I'll start with a simple one, which I asked Nandu sir also earlier. And that is, if Nawazish was not an architect or a furniture manufacturer, what would he be? If you were not part of this field?
A sculptor or a scuba diver?
Sculptor or a scuba diver?
Yeah.
One of the audience members. It's a rather obvious question, which I'm sure a lot of people asked you. It's pertaining to sustainability. So, how do you bring about sustainability and eco-friendliness into your processes?
So, firstly, the wood that we are using is all upcycling.
Right.
So, it can't be more sustainable that way, because it's wood that is being reused and put to good purpose. It's structurally not that sound to take the load in a building, but it has good integrity, structural integrity enough for a furniture piece. So that way is definitely quite sustainable. We avoid using higher VOC content finishes. These are oils that we are using, but it's it's also because these resources were available to us. It was uh, not really because it was sustainable that we had these choices. It was very good quality wood. We don't have seasoned wood available. There are challenges working with old wood, because you have nails, you have wood coming out from different plots. So there is a lot of sorting. You can't. It takes a lot of time. You have to be really assessing the grain of each plant. Sometimes it would just look very bizarre. One drawer would come out with a very different grain. Either we have to become more accepting of that, but over the years, initially I didn't pay attention to that, but now we see the cross section of the wood. and cut it in a certain way that we get a more uniform grain. So yeah, talking about sustainability, that is how much we are sustainable. And again, it's more of because of economical reasons that I think I've done. I was not very conscious that way. Uh, we have solar panels installed on a new facility, but again, for economical reasons. So it's sustainable economically also, and it's sustainable the other way.
Right. So that was the technical aspect. Now, let's talk a little bit about, your shift from architecture to furniture manufacturing. Now, clearly you're enjoying what you're doing, but then do you miss the other aspects of,
Obviously.
you do?
Yes. So, because I thought back then that I was not finding the kind of clients or the kind of food that I would want to do. And at that time, definitely, I cannot sponsor buildings that I want to design. But furniture was an affordable indulgence. So that's how it started, and it so happened to become a good business. Uh, and maybe if we're doing well, I would design and make something for myself. I look forward to that.
So, since you are an architect yourself, a designer yourself, when your furniture goes into a space, let's say just one single piece in a space which has other pieces as well, so how much of it do you influence? Like, do you actually uh, visualize the space with your architect who's
Yes,
approached you for the furniture?
when we are not just selling furniture.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
So we always take into account the context in which it is going, and if we feel that our piece will actually not sit well with what is there, either that has to change or we will not
Oh, so you enforce it.
be good. I advise that, but
Right. Right.
yeah. And
Okay, and so basically, our market has great products from both Italy and China, and in fact, we are sitting in a showroom which has some very beautiful furniture here, and it comes from various other places as well. But then there is a, a place for Indian handmade furniture, which is specifically what you do. So, where would you place Indian handmade furniture in this context, and what do you think its future is?
Uh, if you see across India, there are various brands that have been doing very well. I can mention also many of them. You have Wooden Design in Pondicherry. Uh, Vincent, he crafts beautiful pieces. You have Tectona Grandes, you have Design Dukan. A lot of people who are doing work with wood, Phantom Hands. Of course, they are selling internationally also. They have more standard designs, but the other people that I've mentioned, Tectona Grandes, Design Dukan, Dastkari. You have in Hyderabad, SV Atelier, Studio Chisel, Aditya. Uh, I think that all these brands are coming because the market is very big, and also people are tending more towards all these pieces, these kind of aesthetics. But having said that, like what we are putting out over here is more of the classic pieces, which we would want to resell again. But there is another segment of work that we take up and do, which is very bespoke, where we are able to compete equally. We have replaced a lot of Italian choices. Uh, Bigger companies like Buffy and so people have refrained from importing something from such big brands, as long as we are able to understand the process and collaborate perhaps with people who are having resources and extend our strengths to each other, I think there is a good chance we can even surpass what can happen in Italy, because the kind of handcrafted techniques that we have here and resources that we have here are just phenomenal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Teakwood is far more stronger than all the oaks and walnuts that they use.
Teakwood is, I wouldn't say stronger as such, but it's definitely gold standard of working, because it's a good balance.
Easier to work with.
Yeah, it's easier to work with, and it's good balance that has good resistance to all the exterior conditions. It's a more stable wood.
So last question from my side. After that, I'll open it up to our audience. And this is a question I had asked Nandu as well. So if you could bring a change in how architecture, or in your context, in how the whole furniture industry is both practiced and perceived in our city, what would you bring? Just one particular change.
I think a more pragmatic approach to design, where the designers are more informed about the process by which a building gets made, the sequence in which it gets made. I think that would really help even push boundaries, even if they want to push boundaries in any areas. Understanding the process and doing that would really make a big difference. There are a lot of designers I know of. There are definitely many good designers, but there are designers who shy away from getting into the technicalities of the things. Maybe they find it boring, or but say, coming to my work, if I don't do the managing part, I can't really produce the. So there are things that you may not enjoy, but you it's good for you to do that for a holistic understanding. So I think designers should get a little more technically inclined. Don't run away from it. It might be boring, but once you start tinkering with that, it's fun again.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, the more technically sound you are, the more you can innovate with your designs as well.
Yes, and
Reduces your limitations.
again, you would not find the gap between the contractor and you, or the vendor. We are all just trying to say, coming to windows, we all want very thin windows. इतने mm 20 mm कर दो, but like, what is the amount of aluminum that the glass is actually holding if you're going into a high rise? Now we are seeing a lot of buildings go many floors up. So if we still get tuned to those thin sections, someday can be a very bad day.
So I'm done. Audience?
I've seen the kind of furniture you're making. See, chairs are the most difficult thing I find in interiors. And you're doing a wonderful job as far as the proportions, the finish, the upholstery, the polish, everything. But you seem to be using old wood. Now, old wood for chairs, don't you think is a little difficult, because they have very little water content in it, and especially where the joinery details are concerned, it tends to snap up there if there is no water in the wood. So these old wood that you're buying is very good for paneling or for frames or for other things. But for a chair, I don't think it is advisable to use rosewood.
What you're telling is true, but again, we are doing a lot of trials over them, and if you see the Rahat chair, it has a certain bracing again, without which I think it would definitely fail. So we try reinforcing it a little extra. The point of contact of joinery is slightly more,
I see.
and as we are practicing, we are understanding the limits to which it can be safe to use. So when I started out, of course, there was no data as such that I could rely on. But Rahat chair, it's been like 5 years now, no complaints. But the Chinkara that I had shown, that the initial model did have the problem of snapping, which again we tried addressing, but after that there are no problems. So we are also learning while we are doing.
Especially that swing that you've made, it's a beautiful swing. But then you use the curve in that. And for that, you should use new wood with a lot of.
Yeah, actually, spindles, there is no problem. We can be using new wood. When we are doing cabinetry,
Yeah.
that's where the problem comes in, because expansion and contraction is much more in boards.
Correct. And since you're saying when to stop, I think you should not stop, but you should start another segment of furniture. Which you're saying this is a classic furniture, but I feel if you switch on to something like maybe French or Victorian with a little bit of classic style in it.
I feel
This
that's a
kind of
steep
finish.
learning curve for me if I need to do that, because
Traditional furniture with your finish
true.
would really come out well. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Uh, Hi. I just have two questions. You can answer one of them, or that's enough. So, my first one is towards the product waste. I'm not saying that it's a waste. I was just wondering if you have ever considered to make a piece out of the leftover bits of your own furniture. I'm sure they have a lot of little
Yes,
bits and odd angles and
we do have a lot of waste that way. I brought in one sculptor from Bengal, so that he can churn out smaller sculptural pieces out of that. In some of our Instagram pictures, you can see some hathis which are kept, small elephants. So that's what we make. Also, sometimes we do art installations for which we require smaller things which come out of that. But we're just making so much more furniture now. I would be happy to share all those offcuts that we are having with people who intend to start any such brand. Because I have like just one sculptor, but I have many more craftsmen.
Did you ever, in your 7 year span of furniture work, reject a commission because it did not suit the space? That's my last.
It was not like a commission which I had rejected, but I did advise many people to not go.
I just want to understand, we work together, and I do understand Dastkari and what it stands for in my head. But as you're growing, and you have been growing, and clearly you have a lot more potential forward, what are your 2 or 3 non-negotiables that will not change? Like, if I think of Dastkari, what are the 3 things that should hit my head immediately?
Attention to detail. I don't think I would want to ever compromise that. Uh, Absolute best craftsmanship. Hmm. The third would be dispatch after 25% balance.
Would you like to also think about the service that you provide after?
Yes, I think there is no contract as such, but there have been few instances where we had issues with our furniture, and we have always been present to resolve them. And sometimes they were genuine issues, sometimes they were other things. But if in case we could take a furniture piece back, also we have taken it back. So
Showcasing your work and sharing your journey with us. Along your journey, you showed us in-depth working with artisans, skilled carpenters, and training your young enthusiasts at your workshops. So, including a picture of your now large team and yourself. But I noticed one thing missing, a presence of a woman. A woman, artisan, designer, or a carpenter. I know this profession. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's a little long, but I'll get there. I know this profession can have bias towards one gender, but in today's day and age, women are proving their worth in many fields. My question here, it's a two-part question, is according to you, how do you perceive Dastkari, the brand, with presence of a woman in your team? And can you help change the narrative in the current scenario to close the gender gap?
So, of course, the picture is very deceiving. We do have women designers in our team. We also have an experience center in Crafts Council of Telangana. Over there, we only have women. There are 3 women over there. Then there's one engineer who's turned into a designer. He was working with us, another architect. There are not many, of course, and in the carpenters you would not find out, because we haven't been able to spot women craftsmen in woodworking. But that being said, in certain other crafts like weaving, cane weaving, I intend to start some training sessions, because I feel that doesn't require very heavy lifting, or it doesn't expose to certain machines which can at times be dangerous if you're not trained. So I feel cane weaving could be a good craft where we can train women and incorporate, and also incorporate such craftsmen in our workflow, and also provide to other people, like say Wicker Story is there. They have immense amount of cane work. So if we are able to train that, we have some additional space in our new factory where I intend to do this. Let's see how those intentions are finally realized.
So the next photograph, you would have some more women in your team. I would think so, right?
Yeah, definitely. The next one I'll keep to posts for sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
And you would.
So my question leads to what was asked earlier and on the non-negotiables that you spoke of. One being the attention to detail, right? And we also see that you're sort of scaling up. You're moving to a 40,000 SFT workshop space. And scale in a certain way in furniture is seen as a challenge that, once you scale up, there is some impact on quality of the work that you produce. So if you could sort of enlighten us on how do you streamline your operations, or what is the kind of structure that you have in place, if you could let us know something on that. That is one part of the question. And second question, you spoke about collaboration. So if you could sort of tell us how your experience has been on that front, because in general, like, you might have collaborated with other designers or within the furniture field itself. Of course, there's a sort of a collaboration with the craftsmen as well. But what do you see as collaboration being? Like, now that we also see that many people in design industry are collaborating with a lot of other people. So do you see that sort of happening in the future, and what are the kind of challenges that designers may have? Yeah.
First part of the question is something which we are constantly figuring out because our scale also has been constantly changing. Earlier, our setup was a very fragmented setup. It was 25,000 SFT split across 5 different blocks. And most of our energy was just going off in logistics, things coming up and down from some place. And I have one production manager, and out of sight is out of mind. Even if you make lists, you're not present in the space. So monitoring also becomes difficult. And that is one of the reasons why it was not a very planned move, this shift that we had done. One fine day, just felt like it's time. I went around looking for spaces, and I saw this nice shed. I wanted to bring everything firstly down to one floor. That was one thing. And also, a little before coming in over here, when we took the Experience Center in Crafts Council of Telangana, our design team moved out from the factory into the Experience Center. So there was that ethos on which it was started, right, where the craftsmen and the designers are close together. That was missing, but it was also good for us for a small while to do that, because we were giving out drawings which were more thorough, more detailed. And now what we did in the new factory, we have kept the design studio right in the center of the factory. On the left side, we have all the woodworking visually. They're right next to us. We'll have all the workstations. And on the right side, we have the upholstery section. So designers are very centrally placed, because anyone can just wave at them and call them onto the floor. It's as simple as that. And also, you are constantly seeing the phase at which the furniture piece is. It will become very easy for my production manager also to monitor. And everyone is there in one space. There are no separate cubicles, so that even if you are overhearing any conversations, you would know the status of that project or that piece when what's happening. So I feel that way we are much better than what was happening earlier. Besides that, we live track each piece. We are using simple Excel sheets which are live online, and every time some activity happens on that piece, they're basically milestones. So we know in real time, almost in real time, you can say, which carpenter is working on which piece, how long it has been in a certain phase, and then so that way we are also able to track the performances of each carpenter. Earlier we were trying to do it individually. Now we thought it would be nice to make teams of carpenters and uh, let them work in teams, because then they'll help the other people, because पांच उंगली एक बराबर नहीं होते ना. So it's good that way. We can see more results, but I think we have a lot more room left in terms of our capacity to grow in the new space. We are still setting in, and I would also have to figure out newer and better ways.
Anyone else?
On the collaboration part.
Acha.
That's such a question.
Collaboration part, when you're designing for architects, of course they have their strong views, and जैसा बोले हम वैसा डांस करते हैं.
Sir, Sudhir. Sir.
Thanks, Nawazish.
My pleasure, sir, and thank you. I must mention, and I had already mentioned in the presentation, it was a lot because of Sudhir sir also coming down to Somajigoda workshop, and you had mentioned about the dovetail joinery and a lot of things that we could improve, which I implemented after you mentioning, and like Lata sir has also supported us at a point where we were still very small and didn't have a big portfolio to back.
Yeah, sorry for the absence when you for most part of your presentation, but I am still qualified to ask you a question. I would have asked this irrespective of your presentation. So, how do you look at craft and technology? Are they two opposing aspects? Are there conflicts? Are they complementary or opposing? I will give a reference to and this whole thing about Dastkari, which means handmade, and almost all woodworking, I would say most of them across Europe or what happens in most developed economies, they would be advertised as handmade. But if you look at the whole process, six-axis machine, everything, and what is finally handmade is doing a light sandpaper on it. So, in your pursuit of addressing the issues of scale, aspirations of scale, you would need to embrace technology. And how would you really make them complementary? Personally, for ourselves, when we were asking this question, even in our projects, one of the approaches that we are taking, if you were to craft it, the question if you would ask anybody that in a building there is what is called unskilled labor, then there is what are skilled people like masons, carpenters. So I don't think an unskilled labor's aspiration is for his kids is again being an unskilled labor, right?
True.
Nowhere in the world it could be an aspiration. So it could be. So we have said that we will use technology to sort of eliminate drudgery, which is unskilled labor. So only skilled people work. So that's a portion, at least when it comes to at buildings and the approach that we're looking at. So in your situation, so how do you really, are you eventually going to end up with sandpaper or with 5-axis machine in your pursuit of scaling up? How are you going to deal with it? Are you going to be complementary or opposing?
I never find both of them opposing. I feel uh, we can come specifically to the six-axis ones because they are monsters actually, and there's just so much difficulty doing those operations at scale with any fine craftsman. Also because that sort of craftsmanship has become rare. Now the question is how we preserve what is already so rare. Uh, that's where I think the we can divide perhaps um, the absolute one-off pieces that we are doing, which can be completely handcrafted, because over there making a program for a six-axis machine will not make sense also, because you are making a one-off piece. So and there's a lot of value that is generated because it is a limited edition or a one-off piece, and the artisanal is well compensated for that. But if we have to do a certain design in numbers, then that can still go on a six-axis machine. I don't see that eating away the job. If we see the if we make a plan for this, and in Hyderabad, what 95% of our business is coming from Hyderabad, and every other client, architects firstly don't want to repeat what they've put already. If they're coming and working with us continuously, they would not want to put the same chair again and again. So they are expecting us to innovate very quickly. So that also is becoming a challenge. So bespoke pieces are in demand, and if all those artisans are put to this use, I think it would be nice. Whereas if we are going for a mass premium brand, which we are planning over there, such machines can be more useful. You can choose not to have those machines and just have more simplified forms also. But the aspirations of the other segment could be a certain nice curve that you want, and that would only be possible to integrate with such machines. And that's coming to the 5-6 axis ones. But there are many other places, like say Bidri craft. Right now, what is happening? A lot of people are focusing over the scale of the object they are making. Uh, so the challenge, it was initially something which was very small, which could fit into your hand, and you would make intricate patterns, or they're not very large scale items. Uh, but in the pursuit of making something outstanding, or which would stand out rather, uh, the scale is increasing, and rather than focusing on the pattern, the craft, what is to be done, the challenge for the Pitri craftsman is the bada kaisa banana. Half of the time is going, and they're not equipped to actually do bigger castings. Uh, so if we come in there, have a certain system where even bigger cast, if we are to pursue that idea of doing bigger pieces, then automate that part, which is also risky of casting, because they are doing that in smaller spaces without enough protection. वो crucible इतना heavy हो जाता, पेट ही पलटाने पर problem रहता. All those things, if we are automating through certain systems, then they can just focus on the Khudai and infills. And again, coming to Khudai and infills also, if we are able to figure out a certain way of doing the Khudai also per se in a machined manner, then filling can still be done because there can't be a machinery for that. But that craft can have a broader outreach doing so, or at least the corporate orders and all that they do, that can be done in a more mechanized way. And again, more one-off pieces and more artistic pieces could be done by them completely manually. So I think that balance, when they are also able to crack, all these businesses can become better businesses to do.
So how much of your machines are used in probably finger joints or toe tails or mortar span joints? How much of is it all completely mechanized now?
Not completely mechanized. We are still we are using the jig, but it is a hand router currently. I have purchased one CNC dovetailer also, but it's still packed. We didn't open it. It's been 8 months.
So Dastkari now has non-Dastkari products. Eventually going to have non-Dastkari, not upcrafted, like the X machine, industrially produced.
No,
there's nothing wrong in industry. I mean, don't take me wrong. So there's one section that you're going to say is industry produced.
We plan to launch another vertical, a different name, a different brand, and that will have more of these. And otherwise, it will stop being true to its name also. I think the brand then loses its value.
Thank you.
Can be a hand of the machine. Why should we always the humans as hand?
See, operating through certain machines which are being handled by a person is one thing, and then they are like if you watch videos today, you would see there is a spray painting robot. There is a like everything absolutely can be completely automated. As long as you're doing numbers, it is feasible also to do that.
Not so much a question, but I just wanted to share my journey with Nawazish and about Nawazish.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, how proud are you of your protege?
Every time I see him, I keep telling him that, yeah. But yeah, I think we first met in 2012, and that association has stuck since then. But he came to me as an intern, and when he first joined, we did a workshop together. And we were in the same group in that workshop. We came back to Hyderabad and he came and told me, can I join as an intern, because it's mandatory that I do this. I can't see where else I can do this. And when he joined, Padma is my partner, we were like, how do we deal with this guy? Like, he can't sit at the desk. He doesn't want to do AutoCAD, but he comes up with brilliant stuff. So we were like, let's not stick to that mold that he has to be there 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 or whatever. Let's break our tradition and see how it goes along, So it started with that. And yeah, I mean, I would think that apart from his tremendous talent, which always stood out, I think just that, his risk-taking ability. And when I say risk, it's not like the risk of a gambler saying, oh, let me just go risk. But I think it comes from a place of inner strength, knowing what he's capable of and what he can produce, So that skill, the talent, this quiet inner strength, and I think just sticking to a certain value system, these are things that have just taken him from wherever he's gone to here. And yes, I'm really, really proud of his journey. And Good luck, Nawazish.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a wonderful evening. And yet again, thank you, Enza, for helping us host this. And if you could just look around, Enza has 3 floors in this building, and they have some very interesting, very eclectic furniture. Do have a look, and there's tea and snacks. Thank you so much. Thanks.